All right, back over here on Wolf Street. Wolf Richter site. We have a couple of different ones, honestly. Why a U.S.-style housing bust and mortgage crisis can happen in Canada, Australia, and other bubble markets. They're all in trouble. We're all in trouble, but Canada and especially Australia, they ain't gonna be putting no shrimp on the Barbie anytime soon if this stuff starts going down. Just saying. Now the other one I want to talk about, the smart money gets ready for the next credit event, which I'm gonna take a stab at this and say it's probably gonna have something to do with the housing market collapsing too, by chance. It feels like we're about 12 months away, but we could get into extended innings. As corporate indebtedness in the U.S. has reached precarious heights, and as risks are piling up in an environment of rising interest rates and a hawkish Fed, the smart money is getting ready. The smart money, again, I want to be the smart money, and I want you to be it too. If our cryptos go up, housing up, credit event, housing goes down too. Hey, don't worry about the foreclose. No, don't worry about it. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Go ahead and foreclose. Hey, bank. I understand you just foreclosed on that house over there. Yeah. I'm willing to come in and just buy the whole thing sight unseen. But I'm going to play the foreclosed game. Lowball you. We got a deal or not? Deal or no deal? Oh, hey, Jason. Hey, Mr. Snip. It's good to see you, sir. How's it going? They'll recognize me by face coming in there. Yeah, listen, you got a property over there on Jabroni Street. 2-story house on Jabroni Street. Listen, I want that one. I got a couple of jabronis I want to rent it to. Anyways. The smart money is preparing for the moment when the air hisses out of the exuberant junk bond market, when liquidity dries up for over-indebted companies, and when their bonds collapse. The smart money is preparing for the arrival of distressed debt. It's preparing now because these preparations include raising billions of dollars for their funds, and that takes some time. Distressed debt is defined as junk-related debt that sports yields that are at least 10% or percentage points above equivalent U.S. Treasury yields. And they're above those yields for a reason, because they're effing junk. Distressed debt investors can make a killing by buying bonds for cents on the dollar during times of economic stress of companies that they believe in hope will make it through the cycle without defaulting. In this scenario, a distressed bond might sell for 40 cents on the dollar, and 2 years later, the company is still intact and the credit squeeze is resolved, and now the bond is worth face value. For those 2 years, the bond paid a huge yield to investors that bought at 40 cents on the dollar, and the profit might be 200% in capital gains and interest. The thing is, the junk market, bond market, has been booming. There's no credit squeeze yet, and the riskiest end is flush as the dumb money is still chasing yield. And for the smart money, there's not much to pick at the moment, but down the road, future looks bright. S&P Global tracks distressed debt in its U.S. high-yield corporate distressed bond index. The index peaked in early July 2014 on the eve of the oil bust. Over the next 18 months, it plunged 56% as the oil bust was wreaking havoc on oil and gas bonds. But on February 11th, 2016, the index bottomed out. New money began flowing into the oil and gas sector. Banks started lending again. The surviving bonds soared, and the index skyrocketed 113% in 28 months. Again, all I think of is crypto. 113% in 28 months? Over 2 years? Yeah. Crypto market, you could see that right after an ICO. The pump could do that before it goes down. The pump of the ICO could happen. Much less 28 months later. Anyways, the other article, why a U.S. style housing bust and mortgage crisis can happen in Canada, Australia, and other bubble markets, despite persistent and false memes to the contrary. When a housing market downturn gets big enough, there will be a mortgage crisis, and it will hit the banks. But hold on, whoa. You just saw my last video. The Fed says 65% sell off in stocks, mortgage, housing going down. 35, all 35 banks, stress test, the big ones, they'd be fine. No problem. Coincidentally, as articles like this come out, the Fed has to come out. Oh, here's our stress test results. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. Again, the same Fed that couldn't see the last downturn, or the one before that, or really any downturn ever. Yeah, let's listen to what they have to say. Anyways, when a housing market downturn gets big enough, there will be a mortgage crisis, and it will hit the banks, the shadow banks, and mortgage insurers, no matter what the mortgage laws are. That's what the U.S. mortgage crisis has demonstrated. Yet many industry organs and media outlets in Canada, organs, is that short for organizations or literally organs? And media outlets in Canada, Australia, and other places with acute housing bubbles are trying to hide behind a false meme about U.S. mortgage laws. What happened there, whatever happened, what happened there can't happen here. That's what they say. Well, that's America. I thought it was America. It is America? Yeah, that's America. We're over here in Aussie land. That won't happen here. Oh, or Canadian land. That won't happen here either. So we're going to debunk this meme. Oh, and by the way, what about the tariffs? There might be tariffs that these countries don't have to deal with dealing with America. You guys rode off our backs for long enough. Donald Trump says now it's time to just I'm not asking for anything above normal, just average, just fair, 50-50. That's all. So they got to take that into consideration. I think this is going to end pretty badly for a lot of places. Jingle mail was a phenomenon during the U.S. mortgage crisis when homeowners and small-scale investors, unwilling or unable to make mortgage payments, abandoned the place, figuratively mailing the keys to the bank. Unless you fought the bank and won. This phenomenon took place... Whoa, someone's calling. Stand by. You want to know what that was? Calling my phone? Who can it be calling on my door? There's a female voice. Hello, Mr. Brian. Hi. Whoa. No Brian here. I know who that is. Is Brian Ramjong there? Debt collectors ever since I got this freaking phone number. It's slowed down massively in recent times, but every once in a while. I'm looking for Brian. No Brian here. Wrong number. Oh, well, she says, oh, that's okay. You're the homeowner, right? No, I'm not. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, bye. Thought I was talking to Jerky Boys for a second. The female version. Okay, thank you. Loved it, but I don't like getting bothered. So anyways, before you and I were both so rudely interrupted, we were talking about jingle mail. That's when you send the keys back to the bank. The phenomenon took various forms such as homeowners who stopped making payments but continued to live in the home, sometimes for years. Hey, I know someone who did that. Because the foreclosure process was hopelessly bogged down. All this became a problem only after home prices dropped substantially below the amount people owed on their mortgages, which made it impossible for them to sell the home and pay off the mortgage. This is rarely a problem in a rising housing market. Default rates are minuscule because it's easy to sell the home and pay off the mortgage. And during these times, lenders hide behind these low default rates, but these default rates are only low because home prices are rising. But when home prices drop sharply, after years of low down payment requirements, and again, new Ninja, like I said in my last video, new Ninja loans, hey, just watch the video, understand what happens if you can't make the payment before you go out and get approved. Okay, well, I can't make the payment anyways, but you said I can get a house, so I'm going to get it anyways. You're approved. And guess how it's going to end? You're no longer approved. Get lost. We're going to foreclose. But when home prices drop sharply after years of low down payment requirements and thus little equity cushion, suddenly soaring defaults are a problem that, quote unquote, came out of nowhere. Again, get ready for whoever's in charge of the Fed at the time. We came out of nowhere. We didn't see this coming. Put them in front of Congress. Maybe they'll get Trey Gowdy after them. Did you see this coming? We didn't see this coming. How could you not? You're there. We ought to do this. We're going to do that. And they don't do anything. And then after the show's over, they probably meet up, behind stage, so to speak. Did I get you good? You look like you were sweating. Oh, I'm spitting. Remember that story? Oh, I'm sweating. You're sweating? I grills your heart. Well, the cameras were on. I mean, we got to make it look real. Got to make it look like I'm going to do something to you. Hey, you owe me dinner. All right, buddy, take care. Yeah, I see you, man. That's about how that goes. Didn't see it coming. Over the years, the meme spread that the U.S. mortgage crisis happened because people could legally just walk away from their mortgages because banks could not pursue homeowners beyond recovering the collateral. Much of the commentary on why a U.S.-style mortgage crisis cannot happen in Canada or Australia is based on this. And this is wrong. Donald Trump would say, wrong. Wrong. In the U.S., each state has its own mortgage laws. In terms of residential purchase mortgages, not counting refinance mortgages, states fall into two categories: recourse states and non-recourse states. A recourse mortgage allows the lender to foreclose on the home, the collateral, and then pursue the homeowner in court for the difference between the proceeds from the sale of the home and the outstanding mortgage amount plus interest, fees, etc. Armed with a deficiency, which, by the way, if that ever happens to you, try to find yourself in a position to where you could file bankruptcy. Oh, yeah, that's going to be discharged. F off. Thanks. If you have to. I didn't have to. Anyways, it allows them to foreclose on the home, which is the collateral, and then pursue the homeowner in court for the difference between the proceeds from the sale of the home and the outstanding mortgage amount, etc. Armed with a deficiency judgment, the bank can go after the former homeowner's assets, garnish wages, and the like until the homeowner pays off the deficiency, settles with the bank, or seeks protection in, as I just said, bankruptcy court. Put your ego aside, put, your image, people can know I've got bankrupt. It's there for a reason. It's a tool in the toolbox. Like the Fed has tools, we got more tools in the toolbox. You, as a citizen of at least the U.S. anyways, have a tool in the toolbox, and it's called bankruptcy. Yeah, it might be painful, but you can go tell the bank to pound sand after they get their little default judgment. Then you go for bankruptcy. A non-recourse mortgage limits the bank's recovery to the collateral. Once it has foreclosed on the home, no matter how large the deficiency, the bank has to swallow the loss and move on. And the homeowner has gotten rid of a big bad debt. There are only 12 non-recourse states. And notice Florida is not one of them. Snippy still handled business. Thank you. And those states are Alaska, Arizona, California, Iowa, Minnesota, Montana, North Carolina, North Dakota, Oregon, Washington, as in Washington State, Wisconsin, and Nevada. But 38 states and Washington, D.C. have recourse mortgages, of course. So imagine how all that works. You didn't do anything wrong. Housing gets destroyed because of the bank's malicious intent, honestly. Get all this money, fees, sales commissions, but they don't have a job. Doesn't matter. All they have to do is say they do. Don't actually go look. Okay, you're approved, right? Deregulation, which started with Clinton, Bill Clinton, technically speaking, continued with George Bush. Everybody's approved, get a loan, that whole nonsense. You, who may not have been any part of that, I already had my house. I've been sitting here paying my bills. No, I didn't get no crazy equity line, nothing. And then the market falls out from under me. Now I'm stuck in my house. Can't sell it. It's underwater. You didn't do anything wrong. It was the banks. Again, it's always the banks. They did it again. And in those states, those 38 states, they can go after you. Oh, I'm walking from my house. This is wrong. I'm just going to walk. Oh, are you sure? Be careful. They'll come after you. Deficiency judgment. And again, if they do, bankruptcy. Hey, listen, job, I need you to kind of let me go. That's what you'd have to tell them. I need you to kind of let me go. Fire me. Again, Snippy didn't have to do any of that. Didn't have to bankrupt. Didn't have to pretend I didn't have a job. Nope. They were tired of fighting it in court. And they put in there, no deficiency judgment. We will not go for deficiency. Okay. And how much cashola are you going to give me? No, it's not enough. Thought I was on Friday for a minute. Whoa, this ain't enough. Make it enough. Nope. Need a little more than that. Okay, how about that? Yeah, I'll take that. Thanks. That's how that went. So, the Spanish fiasco, he says here. For an even more drastic example of how draconian mortgage laws fail to deter defaults and thus failing in halting a mortgage crisis, Look at the Spanish housing collapse starting in, once again, same time frame, late 2007, that eventually caused the Spanish banking system to implode, with numerous lenders going under and with others getting bailed out. Spanish homeowners borrowed under a draconian law where the banks, after the eviction, saddle ex-homeowners with the debts for life that continue to grow with fees and sky-high default interest that can eventually exceed the amount of the original mortgage. These people could never shed this debt. This draconian law was designed to protect who? The banks, by being a brutal deterrent to potential mortgage defaulters. But this is precisely what it failed to do. Still happened anyways. Clauses in this mortgage law have since been ruled abusive by the European Court of Justice, and Spain has now changed the law. Hello, my name is Nemo Montoyo. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Take care.